it's Tina and I am back, and I am here with a very simple get ready with me video. I am doing a very simple neutral everyday look, at least neutral for me. And the thing is, once you turn the camera on, neutral goes out the door. Like, you have to kick it up. No matter how simple you intended to go with the eyeshadow, you kind of go a little bit extra with it. So I did go a little bit extra, I'm gonna admit, but I started out with the full intention of doing a very simple, soft, neutral eye. But this is what I ended up with, and I was using my Urban Decay Ultimate Basics palette. And this palette happens to be one of my favorite neutral palettes. It just has everything you need to do a simple neutral eye. And I tossed in a little bit of shimmer on the lid because why not? And I paired it with a very soft, very light, feminine lip. So if you want to see this get ready with me video, then stay tuned and I'll talk to you soon. Hey there guys, so as usual I'm starting off with a clean, freshly washed face, and the first thing I'm going in with is my moisturizer. This is the Hydra Gel Moisturizer from L'Oreal, and I'm just going to apply that all over my skin. It's a really great lightweight moisturizer for oily skin, and it absorbs really quickly into the skin. I'll go ahead and fill my brows in off camera. Next I'm going in with my eyeshadow primer. This is my Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion, and I'm applying this all over my lids to help prevent creasing of my eyeshadows throughout wear, since it seals in the oils in my lids. Next I'm going in with a bit of my Urban Decay Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. This is the shade Medium Dark. I applied that directly under my brows and blended it out. Next I'm going in with my full cover concealer from Makeup Forever in the shade number 12, and I'm blending that over my lids using my Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush. This is going to act as an eyeshadow primer and base for us. It's evening out our lids, and it will also give our eyeshadow something to stick to once we go in with the shades. So I'm just blending that in again, just making sure that we have a nice seamless coverage of that concealer. And I will also go in with my concealer blender from L'Oreal just to further blend out that concealer and make sure it's nice and seamless on our eyelids. Now I'm going in with one of my favorite neutral palettes. This is the Ultimate Basics palette from Urban Decay. And I'm grabbing the shade Commando on my Eddie Funkhouser large blending brush, and I'm just buffing that in the crease area. This is going to act as our blend-in transition shade, and it's going to help make sure that our eyeshadows blend nicely in that brow bone and crease area. Next I'm going in with the shade Tempted, which is more of a muted mauve shade. And I'll apply that on my outer lid and outer V area just to create some dimension and shading on that outer V. And I'm just going back and forth, slowly building up the color until we get the desired intensity. Next I'm grabbing the shade Faith, which is more of a deeper caramelly brown, and I'm applying this to the outer lid and outer V area, just buffing it around using circular motions and buffing motions to again build up a bit of dimension and create some depth in that outer V and outer crease area. Now I'm going to grab the shade Extra Bitter, which is that burnt orange shade, and I'm going to apply that on the outer lid and outer V area as we've been doing, just building up dimension and using different colors to create just a very subtle gradient. And I like this orange shade because it adds a bit of warmth to that outer V area. And I'm just going to make sure that I really blend out the edges of the color so we aren't left with any harsh lines in that brow bone area or on the crease space. And then I'm just really buffing that color out using back and forth motions to fade it out. Now I'm gonna really build up some depth. I'm using the two darkest shades from the palette, Lethal and Blackjack, and I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this in the outer crease area, just tapping my brush on to apply the color, and then I'll go around the edges using very light motions to blend out the edges of the color, and I'll wipe off any excess and then go around the edges to fade it upwards onto the brow bone area, so it's a nice gradual gradient rather than leaving behind again the harsh lines. Now once we have that down, I'm going to go in with my highlight color. This is my Mirage eyeshadow from Makeup Geek. And I'm applying that directly under my brow bones using my large shader brush from MAC. This is the MAC 252 brush, and I'll just use that to buff the color downwards onto the brow bone. For my lid, I'm going to use this foiled eyeshadow from MAC. This is the shade Joy Toy. It's a discontinued color, but I absolutely love it. And I'm just going to dampen my brush with a little bit of my Smashbox primer water. This is my Funkhouser eye shader brush, and I'm just applying this color all over my lid space. And then once I have that down, I'll go back in with the two darker shades from the Urban Decay palette again and blend them in on the outer lid and outer V area, making sure that I blend them in with that shimmery shade now on the lid. And I'm just using buffing motions to make sure that we buff out any harsh lines that we've created and to make sure that we blend everything together seamlessly. Now going into my face products, I'm using a bit of my Urban Decay D-Slick Primer in my T-zone area, so I'm really pressing this into my skin because with this primer you do really want to make sure that you press it in and that it absorbs quickly. And then I'm going in with the NYX Angel Veil Primer all over the rest of my skin. And I've been really liking this primer. I tried it out because a lot of people said it's similar to the Hourglass Mineral Primer. And I do find that that is true. The Hourglass one is a little bit more high quality. So when you wash your face at the end of the night, your skin feels a little bit better than with this NYX primer. But the NYX primer does a good job of priming and helping your makeup wear for a longer time. I'm using my BB cream from CoverGirl. I use two of the shades. I use the medium and the dark shade. And I'm just buffing this over my skin. This BB cream is meant for oily skin, so I really like how it wears on my skin when I'm going for a very lightweight, kind of foolproof, easy foundation that gives me enough coverage, but it's not like heavy duty coverage that I would wear for like a special occasion. This is more of an everyday foundation and I really like it. And I just buff it in all over my skin using my Phase 3 brush from Marc Jacobs. Then I'll go in with a bit of my concealer. This is the Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer from Urban Decay. I'm using the shade Dark Neutral. I'm applying that directly underneath my eyes, and then I'll go in with my L'Oreal Contour Blend-In Sponge to buff that in under my eyes. And again, this is one of my favorite products. It's a great concealer and it really works great for my complexion and for my skin type. So I'll just blend that in under my eyes again, making sure that everything is nice and seamless. Now I'll go in with my mascara. This is my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I'm just applying that to my upper lashes to make sure that they're nice and prepared for the false eyelashes that we're gonna go in with next. The lashes that I'm using are the Studio Effects Demi Wispies from Ardell, and I really love these lashes. They're inexpensive alternatives at the drugstore. They're really easy to apply and they're very comfortable, and they give you a nice voluminous look to your lashes without being too overwhelming or just looking too exaggerated. So I really like these lashes. I do definitely recommend you trying them out. Now I'm going to go ahead and set my foundation in place. I'm using my Cover FX Matte Setting Powder. I'm using two shades. I have the shade Medium and Dark, and I just mix the two together. And I'm applying it under my eyes and all over my skin using my Contour Blender Sponge from L'Oreal. And then I'll go over my skin with my Tarte Powder Player Brush just to make sure we pounce this in the right places and set our foundation in place. And then I'll go in with my blush. I'm using the shade Songbird from Becca. I'm just applying that to my cheeks. This is a very neutral blush. It has a little bit of shimmer, so it gives a little bit of interest to the cheeks. But again, it's not too overwhelming when I'm going for a very subtle, natural look. Next, for my lower lashes, I'm using my MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. This is my favorite lower lash mascara, and I'm just making sure my eyelashes stand out against that lower lash line. For my lower waterline, I'm using my Tarte Cosmetics Skinny Smolder Eyes Eye Pencil in the shade Onyx. It's just a matte black shade, and I'm applying that just on my lower waterline to add a little bit of intensity and a little bit of smokiness on that lower lash line area. And then I will go ahead and grab a little bit more of the Extra Bitter shade and the two darker shades and apply them to my lower lash line area, again to add a little bit of smokiness and interest to that lower lash line area. And I'm applying them using my MAC 242 small shader brush just to make sure I get right up against the lashes, just to smoke out that space. Then I'll go back in with a blending brush just to go around the edges to make sure that we remove any harshness that was left behind by those colors. For my lips, I'm grabbing this Bite Beauty Buttercream lipstick in the shade Caramel. It's just a neutral shade. It's a very creamy lipstick, and I'm just applying that all over my lips. I'm going for a very subtle lip color, so I'm applying that as my base. And then I'm going to top it off using my Velvet Lip Glide from NARS. This is in the shade Bound. This is another like pinky nude shade, and it acts as a gloss for this lip color. And I really like the combination. It turned out really nice. And to finish up by adding a little bit of dimension to my skin, I'm using some of this Becca All Over powder. It's a bronzing powder in the shade Dark Golden. I'm just applying that to the hollows of my cheeks and to my temple area using my Sonia Kashuk brush. I'm going to go in with a little bit of highlighter from the Alchemist palette from Kat Von D. I'm using the Opal shade, which is just a pinky tone. I'm popping that on the high points of my cheeks again with one of my Sonia Kashuk brushes. So here you have it. This is the completed look. It's a very simple, neutral, pink tone look. It's very simple, very subtle, and soft at the same time, and I really love how everything came together. Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this Get Ready With Me video. It was very quick, very simple. I mean, I did play it up a bit on the eyes. I did go a little bit overboard, I will admit, but I had fun just playing with makeup and getting ready with you guys. So hopefully you guys also enjoyed it. As usual, I will leave a full list of the products used down below in the description box, as well as links to where you can pick them up. And those links happen to be affiliate links, well, most of them. And that means that if you purchase through that link, I do get a small sales commission. It doesn't change the retail price of the product at all, so it will be the same price if you picked it up in store yourself or shop for it online. It's just that I happen to get a sales commission from that link, and I can generate links for pretty much any product, and I typically link to Sephora, Ulta, and Nordstrom because those are my personal favorite places to shop. So if you do use my links, thank you so much for supporting the channel so I can bring content to you guys, of course, because I can put back into the channel. And if you're not comfortable with using affiliate links, just feel free to pick the products up on your own, either in store again or online. But if you do purchase, I want to say thank you, and I will also leave links to my Instagram and Twitter page where you can follow me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye guys.